What is up, y'all? We're here for our weekly anchor message where we are getting our spiritual assignments and lessons for the week. This is where Spirit will have us focusing our energy. Just so you know, I have poison ivy all over my arm, so don't be alarmed. But this is why that's going on. Okay, so from the wild unknown archetypes, we've got the mask, followed by the nectar, followed by Mundi. Underneath the mask, we have 5 of Pentacles. Underneath nectar, we have 9 of Wands. And underneath Mundi, we have 7 of Pentacles. Awesome. I'm not going to do our audio today, but I would suggest that you check it out in the description box below. During our Monday, Wednesday, Friday posts or videos, I always include the blog that I wrote for the post version in the description box. So if you guys ever want to, if I don't read those out loud for you in the video and you wonder what the angle was or whatever, you can go and look at that. And also on the, I think it's listed as like the community tab or like posts. If you go to my channel, there's like a tab that has a timeline or a feed of everything that I share. And so I share those posts there too. With that, if you want to see the picture of like the card layout and all that, and you want time to like take it in, you can find it there. All right, so the mask with the 5 of Pentacles. So this is about shedding the masks that have been layered onto us. All of these false belief systems, all of these false identities and false versions of ourselves based on a consciousness of fear, lack, and doubt. The 5 of Pentacles card is all about being overwhelmed with a sense of vulnerability and exposure to threat. You feel sort of like left out in the cold. This is a card about the consciousness of scarcity, fear, lack, doubt. It might even mean, you know, in a literal sense that you have gone through or are going through a time that might feel financially challenging, or you might be dealing with a health issue. Basically, this is sort of like a feeling where you don't feel abundant. You don't feel completely secure. And the artwork is usually depicting 2 people on crutches sort of hobbling outside of a beautiful cathedral. And the stained glass windows are lit up, but the 2 people are so downtrodden and focused inward on their own struggle that they can't look up and look beyond their struggles and beyond their fears and connect with that divine inspiration and connect with the fact that there is safe refuge and help and a warm haven right behind them, right? The lights are on in the cathedral. They could go and take shelter there. So they're not seeing that the temple is there to receive them, that God's mercy and favor and goodness are there for them. And we are the ones who cut ourselves off from that light by our consciousness, right? When we share affinity with the light of the Creator, when we share consciousness that is like that of the Creator, that allows us to draw close to the Creator, and it provides for us and it shelters us. But when we have moments of reactivity and feelings of like judgment, criticism, division, feelings of scarcity and doubt and insecurity, and then we become reactive and start feeding into those thoughts, and they start creating feelings in us, and it just snowballs from there. With that reactive behavior, that reactive thought process, that cuts us off from that flow of favor and blessing and protection, because then we break affinity with the light of the Creator and we are dissonant to that harmony, and we can't connect with it until we find a way to recalibrate, come back, shift our consciousness. Now, the threat is that in an instant we can be so forgetful about, and fall into the drama and fall into the belief of it and become reactive and become, overly excitable about an issue, or fearful. But then in a moment, as soon as we catch ourselves and we realize, oh, I'm in an effect consciousness right now. I'm effect consciousness. I'm not cause consciousness. I'm allowing the situation to affect me. It's affecting my inner peace. And I'm forgetting that I have certainty in knowing that God is omnipresent and God is in all and all is in God. We are in God and God is within us. And during moments of uncertainty and darkness, when things aren't clear and we don't have the answers that we're wanting and we're feeling, vulnerable and exposed, God is in those moments too. And it's us that we need to call upon God in those moments and activate God and activate our certainty that, oh, wow, in an instant, God can turn everything around. He can move in our favor. And where someone is trying to set us up to fall, He can use that same stumbling block to then turn it around so that situation ends up propelling us and exalting us in the end. But only when we remain certain that the Creator is with us, even in the darkness, even in the uncertainty, even in these moments where we feel so exposed and so alone and so left out in the cold, right? This character is feeling insecure and they're feeling almost victimized. And when we get into this state, right, this is when we behave in such a way that's not our true selves, right? When we're in this consciousness, it's like our ego's got taken control and it's not who we really are. And so what our practice has been is to recognize when we're in this consciousness and realize, oh, I'm not going to be my true, authentic, highest self from here. This isn't my true me. So I don't want to make any decisions from this place, and I don't want to take any action from this place, and I don't want to plant any seeds from this place, right? And we're getting better and better and better at identifying when we're here, when we're in that moment. Now, there is a portion that we studied today out of the Zohar. It's out of the prelude or the beginning of the Zohar. And it talks about how who among you has during this lifetime turned their darkness into light and turned their bitterness into sweetness. And the darkness is representative of our negative thoughts. When it says the darkness is the negative thoughts. It's the negative consciousness. The bitterness is our sour feelings, our grudges, those bitter feelings. So the bitterness is describing our feelings. Have we changed our heart in this lifetime? Have we changed the way we feel about things? Have we changed the way that we look at life and our experiences in it and what happened, and then also what's to come, right? Did we change our consciousness? Did we change our heart and the way that we felt about things? Did we really change in this life? Or did we just do a lot of surface topical good deeds, but didn't change as people underneath it, right? So our work is to continue to turn our bitterness into sweetness through the process. And so we have nectar here with the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands is the card of breaking our patterns, being in it, being in the thick of it, in the thick of the process, overcoming our limiting beliefs, pushing past self-imposed limitation, overcoming our tendency to self-sabotage or repeat the same cycles again and again. See, she's pushing through, she's gone off trail in the thick of the woods, and she's gotten caught in a thicket of these wild thorn bushes, these wild rose bushes. And so she's not going to get stuck there. Even though there is some pain and discomfort involved, it's better to just keep pushing forward and find your way back into the light, back onto the path, right? And this is a representative of life's struggles. We embrace life's challenges because they offer us the ability to transcend above our lower nature, to heal on a deep level, and to become this new vessel of strength and resilience, right? The rose is a symbol of the soul because there's both the beauty of the bloom and the pain of the thorns, right? And the thorns are our negativity that bring pain into our life and suffering, right? And the bloom is our beauty, is our uniqueness, is all of our gifts too that we express into the world, and they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And the thorns serve their purpose too for the rose, right? So we are learning to appreciate the life that we've had and the experiences and what we've gained from them. And so that is helping us shift our perspective, shift our consciousness, turn those dark thoughts into light thoughts, turn those negative perceptions into optimism and positivity and hopefulness. Let go of our judgment and choose to learn and to see someone differently, right? So pushing through, embracing the process, because here's what happens. So many times when unpleasantness or discomfort comes into our life, we're so quick to want to give me the answer to make it go away now, right? I want the remedy. Give me another, I want to go deeper into my spiritual practice so that I can get rid of this heartbreak, right? And people, oftentimes they go run to church to try to get away from the pain. And it's like, what if we're bypassing what the pain is meant to give us and we're only prolonging it in the end? But if we embrace the pain and we can sit with it and observe it and see what life's process is trying to achieve through us and in us, then we can get through the process faster. If we were in a fully realized state of Christ consciousness and the veil was completely pulled back, then we would be able to work instantaneous miracles, just like the Christ. But we have this veil that separates us from remembering our direct connection to God. And so because of that forgetfulness, we have to go through a process of changing and of healing and of elevating, right? And when we go through these cycles, there's lessons that we're supposed to be learning, and life is working on us in certain areas, and the life is offering us challenges. So because that's the stuff that helps us solve and transcend, right? If we are not present through that, then we're wasting the misery and we're not learning anything in the process. We're not being transformed, and then we're prolonging it in the end. The only reason why we're going through challenges and chaos is because there's a necessity for it, so that we go through the process so we can transform that darkness into sweetness, that ignorance into wisdom, that prejudice into acceptance, right? All of that bitterness into sweetness, all of that darkness into light. The process lasts as long as we need it to. And if we're when we heal something, when we realize something, when we no longer need to go through the process and we've got the lesson, and the lesson isn't in our highest good to keep going through anymore, and we're better served elsewhere, then that will be complete for us. But we can't get away from it until it's resolved, right? So it's better to embrace where we are and be patient. And so we end up here with the Anna Mundi card. The everything is all is one and whole and unified. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. That is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Meaning that all that there is and all that there ever will be, everything is contained within the light of the Creator. The Creator is in all of it, and all of it is in the Creator, and everything is unified within the Creator. And that's why when we go into these divisive mindsets and word vomit, we separate ourselves from the Creator, because the Creator is unified and not divided, not fragmented. And so, even when we are at war with ourselves on the inside, right, the Creator is at peace within the Creator self, because everything is all is one, right? If we truly understood this, then we would understand that we already possess everything. Everything is within us, and we are within everything, and we have all that we need, and everything that is ours is ours. And it's already set aside for us, right? And so if we believe and we know, I have everything. Everything is available to me. If I really have need of it, if it's authentic to me and I really desire it, and I really have need of it, then I'm going to connect with that, right? The cosmic bank is going to send my resources to me as I need them and as I have need of them and desire of them, if they're truly meant for me. If they're not truly meant for me, then they will only cause chaos in the end anyway. So when we get to that point in the wisdom, we're like, oh, great. I don't even desire something that's not truly meant for me, because I know that it's never going to bring me true fulfillment and happiness, at least not long-lasting fulfillment. So the work that we're doing now is to shed all of the false layers of self that have built up over time, that have been as a result of fear, lack, doubt, scarcity, insecurity, right? The version of us that's not really us, right? Our lower nature. We don't eradicate that. We just bring it back into the self. We bring that all of ourself back together again as one whole, a whole person, not fragmented. We reintegrate those parts of the self that we denied and we hid away, thinking that would be our greatest shame or undoing, that no one would love us or accept us for those things. It's like we learn how to bring all of those things back together, elevate those parts of the self, reintegrate them, rehabilitate those aspects of self, and then reintegrate them into our being. So we're all here now, gang's all here, and now we're ready to start moving into the timeline and life that we would be living as our higher selves. The more that we can start to reflect the image of that higher self, we'll start opening up into more expanded ideas and horizons and opportunities, right? Our life is going to begin to blossom in such a way. But that is as we align our actions and our thoughts and our heart and our deeds, all of it, we have to start embracing that higher self within and leaning into the guidance we're given from deep within our heart, deep from within, where we can connect to the Holy Spirit and to that higher self that's giving us that loving guidance and wisdom into our next level, into our next chapter, which is going to be a greater revelation of our potential, but it also comes with higher, greater challenges and, new level, new devil, right? So be patient, appreciate where you are in this moment, and appreciate the opportunities we have to observe the things that are holding us back, right? The darkness that needs to be transformed, the bitterness that needs to be transformed, the fear and the lack and the doubt that needs to be transcended so that we can expand into the light and have the light expand through us into the world. All right, y'all, that is all for tonight. We'll be back together tomorrow for our weekly manifestation oracle message. So until then, peace be with you. Ciao.